Good, happy Saturday morning, September 15, 2018. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. First up, frustration mounts in wake of natural gas fires, explosions in Massachusetts. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9, Mike Cronin.
At the door when it matters most. For more than a decade, he's been right there, everywhere. And when American jobs are on the line, he leads the charge. ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast, and we thank you.
Smoke has barely cleared, now accusations flying. Lawrence's mayor says Columbia Gas failed to assist or inform first responders and customers during the natural gas disaster. Friday evening, warning people to stay away until they get the all clear.
We are not certain that the homes that were affected by the incident are cleared in a way that it makes it safe.
Governor Charlie Baker declared a state of emergency, explaining that gave him the authority to put another utility, Eversource, in charge of restoration.
We took this step after it became clear to us that Columbia Gas was simply inadequately prepared to take the steps necessary to effectively manage relief efforts.
Hours earlier, the president of Columbia Gas spoke for the first time.
We are sorry. We're sorry and deeply concerned about the inconvenience. This is the sort of thing that a gas distribution company hopes never happens.
By Friday evening, we're told Eversource had 100 natural gas technicians on the job working with Columbia Gas crews and first responders, going house to house. Here in Andover, even climbing through windows to get inside and declare each home safe.
We're just going to shut off the gas, make sure it's safe, do the repair, and then do the relays.
People are warned not to go home or turn on gas until a technician checks the house.
I have no idea whether we can turn things on. I don't even know if my power's on or not, and I'm kind of nervous to turn it back on.
That's the sentiment for a lot of people around here. Crews will be working through the night into the weekend. Many areas still don't have power. Shelters remain open, and the NTSB has sent a team here to investigate, saying some areas of this pipeline are among the oldest in the nation, more than 150 years old. Live in Lawrence, Massachusetts tonight, Jean Mackin, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. We're talking weeks. Merrimack Valley faces long restoration process, officials warn. Let's take a listen to the video from WCVB Boston.
Visit OasisShowerDoors.com and use our estimator tool to design the perfect shower for your home. Whether it's a frameless shower door, steam enclosure, tub slider, or spray panel, let us create your personal oasis at OasisShowerDoors.com.
First, evacuate everyone. Are you sure? Yes. Are you sure evacuate everyone south of the river? Yes. In Andover, yes, evacuate everyone. So we did it. The second thing they asked us to do was to shut off the power. Are you sure? Shut off the power. Yes, shut off the power. We're not going to shut off the power. Then we're going to shut off the... Finally, we shut off the power. Those are the last two coherent pieces of information we got from Columbia Gas. Everything since then has been obfuscation, and they have not met their mandate. They've promised hundreds of teams of technicians. None have materialized. They have promised that they would get the gas shut off by late tomorrow night, and I think at the pace they're going now, they're going to blow that. They're going to blow that window. To date, we don't know exactly. We just still don't know exactly how many of the homes have been, the gas has been shut off in Lawrence at least, have been shut off, and which need to be. They were supposed to do a strategic neighborhood by neighborhood door knocking effort to shut down the gas in the most dense area, so that with an overlay of national grid maps, so that they could go through a neighborhood, shut all the gas, and then National Grid could just turn on the light in that neighborhood. They didn't do that. And we spent some time with National Grid finding out what those neighborhoods were. They wasted last night calling the other utilities to come in. My understanding is because they did not want to foot the bill for them to be here. I have not been told otherwise. So they waited to the last possible moment, I'm not sure how much they saved in the interim, to call in and specifically ask, because that's the way the agreement is. They have to specifically ask National Grid and what's the other? And Eversource. They have to ask for the help. But then they foot the bill. So they waited to the last possible moment for that to happen. So they wasted all last night. We had how many pieces of equipment, Chief? 60?
Had over 60.
We had over 60 apparatus ready to go into the neighborhoods overnight. We had to send many home. That's a lot of people. They wasted, okay, so they wasted today by not having a plan in place to deploy people to the city in an organized manner. There are people now, I'm sure that now you can go to the neighborhood, you're going to find trucks. But when we were going through with the senator and the governor, showing them the places where things had happened in the community, none could be found. None could be found.
Okay, and there you go. That press conference was earlier yesterday. Frustrated by the lack of progress and responsive by Columbia Gas after a series of explosions killed a teenager and left dozens of homes in smuggle ruins across the Merrimack Valley, Governor Charlie Baker declared a state of emergency, allowing him to appoint another utility company to oversee the restoration process. Baker said Eversource would take the lead in getting the system stabilized and residents back home and online in effective parts of Lawrence, North Andover, and Andover. Maine bishop holds a day of prayer and repentance in the wake of sexual abuse allegations. Let's take a listen to the video from WMTW News 8 Maine.
The Landing at Cape Elizabeth. Living your life meaningfully in the comfort of your home. Permanent and respite stays available with award-winning quality care. Ask us about a Maine Bridge to Home respite care in an assisted living setting. Call The Landing at Cape Elizabeth today.
The typical pomp and circumstance, but the message was anything but.
One of my fellow bishops has termed it a tsunami of abuse and perversion. And indeed, it is.
Bishop Robert Dealey referring to a succession of abuse allegations coming out of Pennsylvania, upstate New York, and other dioceses over the last 6 weeks.
Things were bad. Things are, and they're getting better. They've got to get better. We don't want to lose the Catholic Church.
Critics, mainly the group SNAP, the Survivors Network of Those Abused by Priests, saying, quote, Bishop Dealey puts on a good performance. He wants us to believe that the terrible treatment of victims is happening everywhere but in Maine. It's just not true. The bishop says that's not the case. Protocols are now in place, such as the formation of a charter for the protection of children, the presence of a review board, and a close working relationship with the Attorney General's office.
We have kept a safe environment, we have not had, as I said, a substantiated allegation of sexual abuse of a minor for some 20 years, since the protocols have been put in place.
Even parishioners who attended today's special Mass are wondering if the church as a whole doing enough.
And I think that's the most important thing, is we really need to listen to the people who've been hurt. And again, I'm very disappointed that this seemed to be so formal.
And here's a footnote for you. We're told that Catholic membership of the Catholic Church is back on the rise. We're told there are 280,000 parishioners throughout the churches in Maine. That is up from a low of 190,000 when that first wave of sex abuse scandals hit the Catholic Church back in the early 2000s. We're live in Portland. Jim Keithley, WMTW News 8.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Carolinas battered by floodwaters, rentless rain. As North Carolina residents navigate heavy rain and rising flood waters that in some places could double the 10 to 20 inches that have fallen so far, neighboring South Carolina was bracing overnight for a brutal wallpot of widespread flash flooding, mad whipping wind, and relentless rainfall that crept across the border into the eastern half of the state before dawn. Florence, which weakened from a Category 1 hurricane when it made landfall early Friday morning to a tropical storm, is expected by Saturday evening to be downgraded to a tropical depression, but the torrential rain shows no sign of letting up anytime soon. There were still north of 900,000 people without power in South Carolina and North Carolina combined early Saturday. Dozens of North Carolina residents, as well as at least 9 animals, were rescued Friday night into early Saturday in the state's third largest county, Seacrest, according to a county EMS spokesperson. And that did it with the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you back here later on today for another newscast. Goodbye, everyone.